Okay, the next video in our series is on the microbiome. Such a fascinating subject. Well, at least if you're a molecular or microbiologist like me. The microbiome are the bacteria that are found within your body, usually in your gastrointestinal tract. And who knew that it had so many connections to other parts or other systems in your body? So much research has been done on this, and more is learned every year. But I gave you a list of some of the more interesting things that have been linked to the bacteria that make up your microbiome. So, again, microbiome. Remember, ohm, anytime you hear ohm, that means huge collection. And micro, that's talking about the microbes. So, within and on our bodies, we can find all sorts, of microbes that inhabit that. And they change. They change throughout your lifetime, even starting in the womb and at birth. Did you think it mattered if you were delivered in a C-section versus a vaginal birth? It does. It changes the bacteria you're exposed to. What about the difference between being breastfed or bottle fed? That can change it. There's research that shows the type of sugars that you're fed will affect the types of microbes that will inhabit your gut. What about if you took a lot of antibiotics as a kid? You think that could have an effect? It may very well do. So again, here's an interesting lesson in balance. Our genetics, our diet, our environment, they will all affect the balance of bacteria in our bodies. And different people, different regions will have different types of bacteria in their gut. So fascinating. That doesn't always mean you're imbalanced if you have different types. It just could be affected by your diet. But when it does get imbalanced, for example, when you get a bad Clostridium infection, so the C. difficile infections, those are usually caused because of an imbalance. The proper microbes in your body gave up a niche to those Clostridium bacteria and they were able to take hold. So again, there can be an imbalance in our microbiome, which could lead to other effects. Other imbalances then could lead to changes in all sorts of behavior or our other systems. So it can affect our metabolism, could lead to diabetes, affects our sleep, it affects cancer, it affects obesity. There's one really cool study that I always remember is they took gut bacteria from thin mice and they were able to they actually can do a fecal transplant. This is used with Clostridium infections. You can give bacteria from a thin mouse, their fecal matter, transplanted into a fat or obese mouse, and this is done in mouse models, and you can actually get those obese mice to lose weight. They can do it the opposite way as well. You can give fecal matter from a fat mouse or obese mouse into a thin mouse, and that will cause them to gain weight, possibly becoming obese. So fascinating. And before I knew what the microbiome was, I never knew it could have an effect on so many different things in our bodies. And again, this is why I chose this topic. An imbalance in this can lead to other things, good or bad. And we're still just scratching the surface trying to understand the types of bacteria that we're going to see. So you can go through the slides. The microbiome slides are pretty heavy. I used it as a lecture in a microbiology class. There's a lot of paper references. So if you need help finding a study or you can't figure out one of the references, let me know. I can help you out. And again, as you're reading this, go find out more information. There's a ton of information online. Write about maybe your personal experiences in your journal. How you were younger, could that have affected your microbiome in a good or bad way? Are there ways to change this? So there's been a lot of studies on prebiotics and probiotics, and there still is. Still a lot not known about that. So lots of cool stuff to think about. And then we link the microbiome and diabetes to cancer as well. So again, we're looking at the effects, imbalances in these systems that affect other parts of the body and could lead to disease. Okay, have fun. Happy searching.